Hello there, my name is Bruce Rank from Ranks Creations. Welcome to this live stream today. I have loads and loads and loads of stuff to do, but I figured I had better do a live stream, otherwise YouTube will forget who I am. I did do a live stream last weekend, but I did it at an unusual time, so a lot of people probably missed it. It was one of my workshop and wine episodes, and I started in the evening over here, which would have made it probably like 3 or 4 in the morning in the US. And I had a few people turn up. I think probably about 30 people at its peak, something like that. And it was a lot of fun, and I was a little bit tipsy. But yeah, so that was that, and I thought, well, I better do a regular live stream. Hello to Joe Williams, hello Jack68K, hello SamMac356, hello Sam Johnson, hello Turbo Speed, hello Tev Rudin, hello Pedro147, hello Max Button. G'day Reverb, Bruce. Have I got reverb? Oh crap, I have too. Sorry about that. I know why that happened, because yeah, that's better. Last time I was live streaming, my battery ran out on my little thingy down here, and so I switched on the camera, the microphone on the webcam, so I could at least say to people, "Hey, my battery ran out," and I left it on. So sorry about that. Micro Mage Repair, hello. Draco MacGyver, hello there. I kind of miss it now. Hello. Yeah, so anyhow, that was the reason why I had reverb, and thank you for pointing that out to me, because sound is very important to me, very important. I've got loads and loads and loads of stuff to fix here at the moment. I've got a, got a little preview of something. I'm going to show you this. It's still a bit janky. How do you like that? So this is my Power Macintosh 4750. So this is my special prototype going on here. Got the back of it there. I am going to reprint this in a platinum filament, but this is basically the first prototype of the this computer, which I will of course be doing a video on. I'll be doing a build video on this. It has inside, a few things are just floating around at the moment for a number of reasons, but I'll take the lid off, and oh, that's broken. No, it isn't broken, it's just not strong enough. That's why we prototype things, so that I can get it right for the next one. So what we have inside here, got a little power supply there, LC475 board, speaker which is not attached yet, or fan which is not attached yet, and we have our PowerPC 601 upgrade board there. That's what makes this a PowerPC 4750. So I will be printing the final of this. I've gone in and made all the little minor revisions to it. Hopefully it's all right, because it's a bloody lot of filament if it isn't. And I'll be printing the final of this in the next couple of days, hopefully. And then, yeah, we'll do a video on the build and all that sort of stuff, but lots of fun. So based, of course, on the design of the Quadra 700, which is one of my favorite sort of computer designs, with all these lovely ridges here and ridges everywhere. So yeah, that's the thing. But as I say, it still needs some work. Oh, and of course, it's got a BlueSCSI in there, and the little slot at the front is for an SD card. Needless to say, because there's an SD card sticking in it. Okay, so that was the first thing. That's the first little sneak peek preview. That's something that's coming. I've got a couple of review videos happening as well, and another one. I filmed some footage for one of my videos, and I'll be buggered if I can find the footage. Can't find it anywhere. So I think it's on an SD card that's got buried under something. I thought I had actually written over it by accident, so I went and got some recovery stuff, and I found a whole bunch of videos, but I didn't find one trace of the footage that I was missing, so it makes me think it's probably on a different SD card, or it's been overwritten entirely, but I don't know. I would have thought I found at least one skerrick of it. So that's a bit of a poop. but it's nothing major. It's just a little bit of a setback on a video that I'm working on at the moment. Hello, Dana. Hello. What are we fixing here today? Well, we've got a few different things to choose from, so I definitely would like some participation on this. Let me tell you what I have here. So for those who may or may not have watched the live streams, I've so far done 2 live streams where I've been repairing a Macintosh SE30 with bad battery damage. Where is it? Is it this one here? No, that's a good one. That's a nice looking one. That's a nice looking one too. It's here somewhere. I think this might be it here. Yeah, is it? Yeah. And so let's just... this is what we're going to be doing today, isn't it, Dana? Okay, so I have a little stirry flux there. So this is the battery damage one that I have been working on. I've been working on this for 2 live streams so far. And look, we don't have to do this. People want me to do it. Yeah, for sure. Hey, Nick, how's it going? This is, if people would like me to continue working on this, I can continue working on this, more than happy to do that. So this is the SE30. I've been gradually working my way through the address lines and repairing traces as I go, because every time I find a broken address line, it's a trace that needs to be repaired. So, and then in theory, once you get to the end and you repair them all, it will work. So that's very optimistic though. Eric Johnson, hello. I think the mic is not configured. It's screeching. Is my mic screeching? Screeching mic. Oh, what? No, I've got... There we go. It's so... it should be fine now. It should be fine. It's this one that's screeching. I had the microphone on for this. So just to clarify, because I did mention this just as when I first started, this all has to do with the fact that last time I was live streaming, my battery ran out on my little thingy. This was during my Workshop and Wine live stream, and I couldn't be bothered going and getting another one because I think I was wrapping up the live stream anyway. And so all I did was I first switched on the microphone of this camera here that's floating in front of me. But then we found out fairly quickly that the microphone on this is absolute potato. So it makes the screeching noises. So that I then cancelled that. And then I used the microphone in the webcam that I've got up here. But I left them all on. I mean, I really need to actually probably remove them. And as I change views, they're probably all going to come on. Just gonna get rid of this because it's really bad. Here we go. Zoomy sound. Where is it? Zoomy sound. Get that and delete. Yes. There we go. Why? What is even that mic and why isn't it in the trash? Well, it is now. I just trashed it. I have now found out just how bad it is, and so I will never use it again. It's garbage. I need the camera though. That's the camera here. It's this camera here. It's very important. All right, Jared Burma, hello there. Okay. You're at 11 and clipping. Yeah. Yep. I was sounding like someone else. I can't remember his name, but anyhow, someone else who live streams with the microphone turned up loud. So this is number 1. This is one of the things we have to work on. So we can have a look at this if you want. I'm more than happy to just work on that. It'd be fun, but it could also be boring because we've been doing that for a long time. Here's another thing that I have. I started this during my Workshop and Wine live stream. This is a Macintosh SE30 reloaded board. And as you can see, I've already done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 ICs that have been transferred across from the old board to the new board. So I've done, I also did all of the, what do you call those things? Inductors. These are all the little inductors here, all the things labelled with an L. All the inductors have been moved across. All the other birdseed was already populated, so you don't have to do that. It's north, very north. Yes, good, it's north. So that's another thing that we can do today. If you'd like me to have a look at that, I'm easy with that. I'm happy to do that. I've got a Macintosh 2, which is giving me some grief. It's giving me a sad Mac chime. Sad Mac chime. And I have to try and figure out why. I've got no idea why, but I have to try and figure out why. Something to do with the RAM test failing. I've already replaced all of the little RAM multiplexer chips, and that didn't make any difference. So I have probably got to go through with a multimeter and check the lines from the RAM to wherever they're supposed to be going. I probably should do spreadsheet of that before I head into it. InfoShire Electronics, hello. Foxhound477, hello. Then the other thing I have to do is I got a couple of LC power supplies that need recapping. I don't think I've done these ones yet. I can always tell which ones I've done because I go overboard with the thermal paste, and these ones don't have any additional thermal paste on them, so pretty good, pretty good. So these need recapping. I've got all the caps. I couldn't do them before because I ran out of caps, but I bought new ones. They're all good to go with those. So that is basically what I've got to do here today. I've got SE30 reloaded. I have got SE30 battery damage. I have got LC power supplies, and I have got a Mac 2 that's giving me grief. Now what I'm going to probably do is I'll let everyone have a little bit of think about it. And in the meantime, I'll just start working on the LC power supplies. All this shit has to be done, okay? So that's just that. It has to be done regardless. So a good starting point would be to have a screwdriver here. Okay. Now these are pretty straightforward to work on. There's 2 screws there, 1 screw there, and then we've got 2 screws here holding the board down. I don't think they need to come off straight away. I think it's just these 3 we do first. But I'm just trying to remember because, you know, I've only done like 50 of these. Well, how would I remember that? Say hello to the Raven. Hello, Raven. That's what an Australian Raven sounds like if you've never heard one before. Kind of sounds like a spoilt child, doesn't it? I was doing a video recording, recorded YouTube video down here one time, and that was going on while I was trying to record. And I got to tell you, I was beginning to lose my patience. I think these need to come out too. I made a video of it. I've shared it with close friends. I haven't shared it with everyone because the language is a little colourful, let's just say. Little more colourful than usual, shall we say, in the 4-letter word department. I was doing my review for the KETS soldering iron, the KETS soldering iron. That was the and the Ravens just kept going and going and going and going, 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 going. And yeah, I started to lose my patience. Yeah, so in Australia we do have crows, but there aren't that many of them. I mean, you could argue a raven is a type of crow, but we do have crows, but they are mainly, I think, in the north part of the country. For the majority, like all around Sydney, if it's a black bird, it's a raven. It's not a crow. So that's just, yep. We're big on ravens. Hey! Look! Thermal paste. This is one of the ones I've done before. No, it's not. That's their thermal paste. It's not mine. That's definitely not recapped by me. These are yucky old poopy caps. Yucky old poopy caps. One of the things with Australian ravens is that most people here in Australia call them crows, even though they're ravens. But, yeah, what are you going to do? Blackbird. Poof. I guess who doesn't have their fume extractor running? Ow! This is logistics. There we go. I'll do that, and then there we go. Sorry about the noise, folks, but fume extraction is very, very important for the health. We need to be healthy. One of the ways you can tell the difference between a crow and a raven is the beard. Ravens have a great big beard, big feather beard. That's the real telltale sign. I think ravens are bigger too. I could be wrong about that, though. Oh, these are big birds, by the way, these ravens. They're monsters. Big birds. Okay, I just got to get these little pins out. So whenever I'm recapping an LC power supply, I always disconnect the power supply from the base like this, because these wires, it's not a plug, unfortunately, they're soldered in. But it's just so much easier to just be able to get that whole case, put it out of the way, and then work on this like that. It's just so much easier. Now, all the things that need to be replaced here, I'm not going to replace this big fat one, and there's a good reason for that. I don't have any spares. But I am going to replace every other cap. So there's this guy here, and then there's tiddler, 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 puddler, tiddler, puddler, piddler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a this is one of the TDK ones, isn't it? There is another type. I think it's a Sony. I need Steve to tell me that. He's the one that expert on the LC power supplies. Pretty much everyone I have ever come across here in Australia has been a TDK. I don't know if the other ones never made it out here, but who knows? Who knows? An explanation of what is in the background. What would you like specifically to know about in terms of in the background? Please ask. I'm more than happy to. If I just go here to just me, and have a look at in the background. What's in the background? We've got a ultrasonic cleaner there. Got an air conditioner there. These are my little component containers. All that crap, that crap's all just garage crap. So there's a bunch of logic boards. Oh, it was the ravens in the audio. There we go. There we go. That sort of background. I remember the very first time that sound, it was Dana was, I can't even remember, I think we might have been just having a Zoom chat, and Dana had sort of commented on, what on earth is that noise? And it's like, oh, ravens. He's like, man, we don't have any birds that sound like that here. And I would believe it. I want a pet shoebill. Wouldn't we all love a pet shoebill? Aren't they wonderful? They are just when you look at a shoebill, you just feel like you're in Jurassic Park. You're in the Jurassic Park movie. They look amazing. Such an incredible looking creature. And I love the noise that they make as they clap the bill. Clack, 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 clack. Lovely sound. Shall we have a look at the chickens? Shall we just go and see if the chickens are here? Oh, geez, look at that. We've got some... Oh, I see what's happening. The sunlight is reflecting right on the lens at the moment, and there's a spider web in front of it, and that's making it having to compress the crap out of the data because the image keeps changing. So I can see a chicken just off to the right. That's the blind one, but that's enough of that. Let's do a bit of zoomy zoom. Right, I need a recapping guide. So what are we going to do about that? We're going to go to Recap Mac. Ping pong. No. And one of the things about Safari I wish they would change, I wish they would make it so that the favorites bar only appeared when you moused over the top. So you could have it so the favorites bar, you could have it disappeared, or not disappeared, you know. The wattlebird. We don't get wattlebirds much here anymore. I mean, they're still in the area, but I used to have wattlebirds that lived around here. When I first moved in, there were wattlebirds everywhere, but they obviously got chased out by other birds. Yeah, that's sad because I actually quite like them. Right, so let's have a look here. Recap our Mac. We'll go here to resource. I'll share the screen. How about I do that? I'll go here to that, and I'll go here to scoring. There we go. And now we need to go to resources. Whoopsie. Scroll down to any of the old LC-aroonies and go power supply. There we go. So there we can see all the capacitors. So I might do this because that'll, yeah, that's a zoomaroomy. That's better. Okay, now I can come back to here. Took Claire. All right, so these caps have got to come out. We've got to get the solder off them. A couple of ways we can do that. I'll probably use the BlueSCSI for that. This is my solder sucker, like this. Made by Gut, the same company that... God, it's dirty, isn't it? The same company that does the WICK that I buy. Gut, WICK. And this is a meaty thing. And what I love about this is it's just so easy to empty. You just open it up like that. Just tip the junk out. Gone. Out of sight, out of mind. Okay. I could use the mechanical solder sucker, but by the time I switch it on, get all the crap out of the way so I can access it and wait for it to warm up, I'll be done with this thing. Simple as that. There we go. My soldering iron's gone to sleep. Norm, hello there. I'm a bird watcher. I am in bird watcher paradise, absolutely. I'm not someone who actually specifically goes out looking for birds, but when I do, if I go somewhere and there is bird life there, I do observe it and I do pay attention to it and all that sort of stuff. I like birds. I like birds a lot. It's one of the reasons why I bought this house when I moved, you know, when I went and looked at a lot of houses. Is when I had a great big fig tree in the backyard. Now, while there are lots of problems associated with having a big fig tree in the backyard, like drainage and all that sort of crap, I do like the bird life it brings. And bat life, I should say. We get quite a lot of bats here, fruit bats. You know, flying foxes. They are cute little things. Very noisy, though. When it's that time of year, like when the tree is in fruit, they don't actually sleep here. They just come and eat and then piss off. They make a lot of noise, little squabbly noises, but they're very, very cute little things. Flop, 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 flop. So I think it's these two. Pretty sure it's these two. Hey, another cap out there. I should be looking at these as I take them up. Fruit bats at night. Yep, indeed. Because although the figs on this fig tree aren't like the nummy figs that you would have on a, you know, like the sort of the eaty type ones, these are little tiny ones. I guess you could probably make some sort of preserve from it. I don't know. Add a load of sugar and turn them into a jam or something like that, or a conserve. But the bats, they're happy with them. They're like, yeah, I like these. That one fell out before I'd even sucked the solder off it. These are all not looking too bad. It's really not uncommon when you're working on these power supplies to get a few of them with a bit of gunk on them, but it's also not uncommon to get a few of them that are fine. This, by the way, is a power supply for one of the barn find Macs. Do you recall my series on barn find videos where I had I came back with an LC2, an LC3, and an LC475. I think the 475 is here. Is that? No, that's an LC2. That's an LC2. And yeah, all those bye. All those LCs had power supplies, and all those power supplies need to be recapped. So I did one initially. I am actually planning to sell all of these, so be on the lookout. When I am ready, I will be putting these up on probably Marketplace or eBay or something like that for people who are local that might be interested in adding some LCs to their collection. They, of course, will be sold in working condition with BlueSCSIs, but they will not be sold with keyboards or meters, because I don't know how I have ended up in this situation, but I had so many more computers compared to keyboards. It's just crazy. It makes no sense. It does not make sense. That way. It's that one, I think. Pretty sure it's that one. Does that feel right? I don't know if that feels right. Maybe. Yep, that was right. A bit crusty, this one, I think. Let me just check. So my 5 to 6 boxes of logic board find was really 8 boxes. Have you had a chance to... oh yeah, definitely got leakage on this one. Let's just jump across to the scope view for a sec. So you can see all the gunge coming out of the bottom of that one there. The seals have definitely gone on that one. It's bad. It's very bad. So there's my white balance on that camera. I need to sort that out. That's a bit of a task because I've got to connect it up to HDMI so I can then bring up the menu, and then the menu I can switch it on and all that sort of junk. All that noise. How much to recap 8 boxes of logic boards? Tell me what they are, and I'll tell you. I'll give you an approximate price. Because these days it's not the recapping that's the issue. It's the fact that there are so many boards that have... okay, so it could be one of two things. Number one, it could be that the board was put away not working. You've got to remember, computers failed even back in the day. And so people have put that in a collection, and it's sitting there, and it's like, oh, okay, this one doesn't work. Oh, it must need recapping. When in actual fact, it may well have got put away in a box somewhere because it didn't work. And then someone's like, oh, well, you know, might be able to get that repaired one day, whatever. So you can end up in this situation where you've got a computer that doesn't work, but it didn't work when it was put away. So recapping ain't going to fix it. Then the other issue you have is that a lot of the time these days, a lot of these computers are getting pretty bad corrosion on them, and so you recap them, but they're still not working. You know, you've got other problems there, and it's like this Mac 2 that I've got here at the moment. Mac 2, yeah, it doesn't work. It needs recapping. No worries, recap it, doesn't work, and that's pretty much the same with every Mac 2 out there, particularly the ones that had the batteries soldered to the board. The electricity running through those wires, because those batteries are actually incredibly good. Most of them still have charge today, whatever it is, 40 years later. Most of them still have charge, and for that reason, they make the little traces in there more susceptible to rust because of the electricity in them. Electricity. Still haven't gone through them yet. I know one big box and a medium box are all PowerMac G4 logic boards, AGP mainly, Gigabit Ethernet, digital audio, Quicksilver, and a few MDD. Oh, you need cases for those. Hello, Callan. Thank you for joining. All right, so that's all of the caps off except for this great big fat one. Sorry about calling you fat. I don't want to give it a complex. And this is incredibly clean. Considering where this was stored, this is remarkably clean. So I'm actually quite pleased about that. And I think that I suspect this one probably would have just worked if I'd have plugged it in. But I tend not to do that with these power supplies. But I feel pretty confident that once I put these new caps on, it will work. So first thing we need to do, I'll stick the 50 volt on first. And I get that from my container of 50 volt capacitors, which is up here with all my other capacitors. 50 volt, there it is. It's even in pretty decent reach here. You know, a bizarre thing, I used to do a lot of repairs on laptops and, you know, MacBook Pros and stuff like that. And one of the things that I found really bizarre was so many times I would get hold of a broken laptop with a CD in the drive, or a CD or a DVD in the drive. The number of times you would get a computer and you'd get it working, and then the first thing is like, oh, there's a CD in here. It's just extraordinary. I don't know why. Just lots of people with, oh, geez, there's still a cap in here. What the hell, man? Am I blind? Am I stupid? Probably a combination of the two. Oy, 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 oy. I made homemade hamburgers for dinner last night. And I tell you what, yep, this one's got some gunge on it as well. Oh, this one's very gungy. So just be aware that these little ones here, definitely gunge worthy. It's not very good. Have to clean that. Eric, hello, Eric. Thank you for joining. What things? Oh, what was I talking about? I've forgotten already. I have brain like that, you know. All right. Look at all that. We definitely cleaned off some gunge. Look at that. Ugh. Ugh. Right. I've got my 50 volt container and I need an 8.250. So let's grab that. It's one of the ones that I keep large supplies of because I do a lot of these little things here. I do. These are Worth electric capacitors. They seem to be the main supplier, well, certainly that I've been able to find anyway, the main supplier of these smaller radial caps. I don't know why, but I mean, you know, the bigger companies like Panasonic and stuff like that, they don't make these little ones anymore. I guess these days, people aren't using these sorts of caps for the little ones anymore. They'll be using larger surface mount electrolytic. They wouldn't be using these through holes. If you were to grab, you know, sort of a power supply from something these days, something modern, you will find a few like through holes of these big chunky ones. Like, I mean, I've got a power supply here. Here's a newish power supply. This is from this 2017, I think 2017 or 2015, 27-inch iMac. And as you can see, we've got two big caps here. We've got these ones here, but then these guys, these smaller ones, actually they're through hole as well. They're not surface mount, but anyhow, they're so everything I said was a lie. So yeah, there's still plenty of them out there, plenty of through holes, just can't find them. Repairing things. Well, at the moment I'm repairing an LC power supply. The thing in the thumbnail, that is a little bit of a, what would you call it, clickbait. So if you have a look at the thumbnail of this video, which I don't know if you can see it, but if you have a look at the thumbnail, there's a big burn bit on a board. And that's actually from an induction cooktop, which has since been repaired. But I just thought it was a nice picture because I love the burnedness. Right, so this has got to go in here. We've got a little screen printing here showing us which way is which. Shows us where the negative side is. So it's got a little line for negative. So there's a line, corresponding line on the cap itself. So pop that in there. We should be able to test this afterwards as well because I do have a little LC down here which we can try and fire up. Dear, 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 dear. I've had 2 goes at trying to watch a movie over the last couple of nights, but my wife keeps falling asleep. She's had some fairly exhausting days lately, so I then stop and watch something else. Okay, Make Vintage, hello there. Stopping by before heading to sleep. I've been coding an SQL engine in HyperCard all day. I am so surprised to hear you working in HyperCard, Eric. That's so unlike you. Said with tongue firmly in cheek. Right, next one. We need a few 25 volts. So let's grab the 25. Good night, Eric. Thank you for joining. 25 volt. Let's go grab the 25 volt container. I think this is one of the ones that I ran out of, so I had to get some more of things. I need 2 270s. So let's get those. 2 270s. What? What am I talking about? What? Huh? What? 270 microfarad. Yeah, here we are. Sorry. So my brain was just did a thing then. You know, have you ever had that? Your brain just does a thing. The main thing was that the capacitor, the little container of capacitors was so full, it was covering the label. So that was just causing me all sorts of confusion. So, I don't know if anyone has heard about this, but have you seen that Riven is coming out? A re-release of Riven is coming out, I think in like 10 days or something like 9 days, 25th of June, I think it is. And it is a complete ground-up rewrite of the game Riven that uses the Unreal Engine. And I'll tell you what, I have looked at some of the previews of it, and it is incredible. I can't wait to get my hands on it. They did the same with Myst, and that's just magnificent. This will motivate me, I think, to do my second part of my favourite Mac OS 9 games, because Riven is one of the ones in that second part. Spoiler! So, yeah. I just said, did you see that Startup Disk is Full released a new video? That's a very, very important point, Dana. So, for those who aren't aware of this, I have a little side hustle with some of my sort of old Mac Yak friends, and it's a little podcasty vidcast show called I Left a Capacitor On, called Startup Disk is Full. It is just a kind of a reference to it's a reference to the message that you get on a Macintosh when your startup disk is full and you have to get rid of stuff, otherwise the computer doesn't work very well. But it is meant to be a sort of a symbolic thing of our brains full of information, mostly useless information. But Dana, you want to post a link to the channel in there so that people can jump on and subscribe to it, maybe check out our latest episode when they get a chance. Make sure you check out the outtakes of the video, because we always record our shows and we put the outtakes on at the end, and it's always a lot of fun to do. It's usually not hard to get hold of outtake material for that show. Mainly my fault though, because I get all giggly whenever we go to start recording it. Yeah, please check it out. Please check it out when you get a chance. The topic of that show that we just recorded was digital archiving, and we had our very, very special guest on the show, and that was Steve from the Mac 84 YouTube channel. So Steve jumped on and helped us because he is a prolific archiver. He is someone that takes analog stuff and converts it into digital quite a lot. And so we had him on the show to talk about some of the work he's done with film and some of the work he's done with scanning manuals and books and things like that. And yeah, it's sort of it was a lot of fun. So I do hope that everyone will check it out when they get a chance. Hello, Sol. Doing mods to my G4 mirror drive door. What mods are you doing there, Sol? Okay. I must confess, I do like the mirror drive door. My parents actually had one of those. They bought one new all those years ago. And one of the things I actually really love about the mirror drive door, the first one, because there were 2 different iterations of it. The very first iteration, you could just natively run OS 9, boot into OS 9. You didn't have to run it in, what's that mode? Classic mode. Now, I realise, thanks to the wonderful people at OS 9 Lives, you can now run OS 9 on all of those computers. But without any sort of modifications to the OS, you can run OS 9 on those early mirror drive door Macs. And they were pretty powerful. I mean, they were some pretty serious grunt for OS 9. Had the PSU recapped by a guy in Texas. Now, is that the guy? He's the one guy that does those power supplies. He does nothing but mirror drive door power supplies, because I've got one here which I need to recap desperately. I've got a couple here that need recapping actually. I will do them, but I've got one that works, and so the priority to get the other ones working gets minimized. You know, I don't know if you guys have that, but when you have one thing working and you might have 3 of the same computer, you don't really care as much about the ones that aren't working. Andy, that's the guy, is it? Yeah, cool. Because unfortunately those power supplies don't just need recapping. They typically end up with one of the transistors going in them as well. I think even a couple of transistors. I've had this one here on the bench, and I've basically found a couple of these and shorted out. I'm probably going to do a video about that at some stage when I get the energy. I've done a video recently, but I'm very unhappy with the quality of the video, so I'm going to have to reshoot it. But one of the things that I do in that video is I demonstrate how to test a bridge rectifier. Very important, because these are very important things when you're working on power supplies, and it's important to understand how they work and how you test them. So I've done that. I've got a nice little video, little graphic and everything like that, but I'll be adding that to one of the other videos I'm working on. Now let's get rid of this one capacitor that I forgot to remove that's hiding under the cable here. See it? Hiding there. Look at it. Sneaky little bustage. Okay. There we go. I haven't had breakfast yet, and I must confess, while I wasn't too fussed about it before, I am starting to get pretty bloody hungry now. How about this one? A little bit of gunk on this one too, but not too bad. Not too bad. But I will give it a little bit of a clean underneath. Adding some SSDs, internal and external. Yeah, it's one of the fun things, getting those old Macs and adding SSDs to them. I have G5 in my office, which has got a Samsung SSD in it. It just flies, you know. I mean, it just works so much faster than it ever did. One of the power MOSFET shorts on the Samsung ones, and the main cap is shorted. Yeah. So I've replaced those, but it still doesn't work. So, but having said that, I haven't replaced any other capacitors on it. So it sort of seems to me, with something of that vintage, where we know that there are a lot of bad caps around in the world, it seems crazy to continue with any further diagnostics, until I have replaced the rest of the caps. And then if it still doesn't work, then I can go in and get, go and figure it all out. Yeah. Early G5s are so picky when it comes to SSDs. I've only ever put one in there and it worked fine. I put in a Samsung 950 or 970 or 960. I can't remember. It's one of the codes, one of the codes, and it just worked. Just worked completely fine. I've actually got a 1 terabyte Crucial SSD that I've ended up as surplus. I don't know what to put it in. It's not a sled. It's like a SATA one. So it's got to go in something a bit older. I think I've got the drives in all of my laptops. I do have one of those things that allows you to remove the CD drive and place a 2.5-inch drive in there instead. I suppose I could do that to one of my laptops, give it an extra internal drive. But yeah. Open core legacy patch installer. I'm getting ready to try and install Monterey on my 5.1. Nice one, Monterey. The SSDs are in yours are crucial. Okay, cool. Yeah. Now I have LC PSU replacement boards using Pico ATX and an AC DC converter. All goes inside the metal frame direct replacement. That's awesome. So tell us about that, Will. That must be a small power supply. Pico ATX. I don't know that one, but I assume that is a... So Pico ATX, that's AC DC converter. All goes inside the metal frame. Yeah, I'd be very interested to see about that. If you've got any links to that, please feel free to put them in there, because I wouldn't mind checking that out. Now, if you've got like a GitHub or something like that for it, we've got it. I'm going to stick a 56 microfarad 25 volt in place. 56, and we're also going to have a 47, aren't we? So let me just grab those both now. 56, 25, 47. Why are the 47s bigger than the 56s? Answer me that. Riddle me this, riddle me that. I don't get it. Just make sure I've got the right thing here. 56 microfarad 25. 47 microfarad 25. Very different sizes. Very different. Alright, let's go the 56 first. The 56 lives underneath the big 1000E. Probably not, Dana. Oh, wow. That's alright. Okay, so 47, go... Oh, hang on. I am holding the 47, aren't I? Yes, 47, despite me talking about 56, so that is there. Righty. Oh, look at that. Hello, Jay from the House of Moth. Or should I do it like Paul Daniels? What is it? Hello, House of Moth. Do-do-do. When will you have the 2SI available on your shop? Yeah, cool. I would be interested to see some pics of that. Appreciate it. I should actually go and get you little Blinky RAMs to try out with this, because when I test this out, I'm going to test it out in LC2, and I can stick a couple of 4s in that. That'll give me the maximum of 10 megs, and we can try the little Blinky RAM. So I'll go up and get that when I finish recapping this. Blinky RAM! Yay! Have I got a hard drive for this one? No. No. Oh, hang on, I've got this BlueSCSI here. That might do it. That's another thing I have to do. I need to make more BlueSCSIs. I have all the boards and stuff, and I have all the components, and I love making them. And I might even do a video on making one. I don't know, probably a bit boring, but yeah. Hello? Oh, crap. Oh, man. You're doing it to me again. All these people who go to all the trouble of telling me how to pronounce their name, and then I get it right for a bit, and then I forget. So it's Leon Idate? Was it Idate? Leon Idate? I think. But yeah, I'm terrible. Terrible, Muriel. Leon Idate. I got it right. Hey. Oh, what have I done? 47. No, I'm holding 56 this time. Okay, so minus there, plus there. You know, if I'm not concentrating when I do these, there's always the chance that I'll stick one of these capacitors on backwards, and then when I power it up, it'll pop. There's always that chance. So here's hoping, eh? We always love the pop. So is it maybe Leon? 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 Instead of Leon, like Leon? About that. Is that closer? Leon. I hope it's Leon. I like the sound of that. Sounds groovy. Right. So that's it. I've done all the 270. I've done all the 25 volters. Now we've got to do 10. Let's get the 10 container. Oh, old man, old man, old man. This one's far away. Oh, crap. Oh. That wasn't fun. Oh. Ah. Leon. 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 Okay, cool. So I know for now, until I forget it again. So sorry about that. 27010. Let's grab one of those. 27010. What are these ones? These don't even have a label on there. 1510. Okay, 27010. It's a little one. Let's grab that. $27010. Hello, darkness, my old friend. So, just a reminder to everyone, startup disk is full. One of the other little things that I do, in our latest episode, we had about a 16-month hiatus for reasons. And we're back. We're back, guys. And we recorded the latest episode of Startup Disk is Full just recently, and then we published it. So please check it out, everyone. If you haven't subscribed to Startup Disk is Full, please subscribe. It's a lot of fun. We just talk about tech stuff in general. In the past, we were on the Mac show where we talked about all just Mac tech, but this is about just general tech. There's a bit of a Mac spin on it, of course, because we're all Mac users, but we just talk about general tech stuff. So we've done a show on 3D printers. We've done a show on digital cameras. We've done a show on, or digital photography. We've done a show on gadgets. We've done a show on Linux. Did a show on something else. Steve is there. Hello there. Perfect timing, yes, because Steve was our very special guest on our latest episode of Startup Disk is Full, where we talked about digital archiving. And of course, Steve does a lot of digital archiving. So everyone who is in this chat at the moment, please jump across to the Startup Disk is Full. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. And then when you get a chance, check out our latest video, because I guarantee you might like it. Now, we need a sneeze. Oh, excuse me. I really wanted to mute that, but I just ran out of time. Sorry. Oh, goodness me. Okay, what did I need? I needed 1,010 volts. 1,000. That's 1,200. Here we go. 1,010, and I need 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. We can go in there. Oh, crap. I've sealed up the hole. Can't have that. Tobias Craft, hello there. Thank you for joining. Hello. I actually have a mountain of stuff to get done today, but it's very important to do these YouTube things, because if you don't, YouTube forgets you're here. I don't know if it will have changed, but just before I started streaming, my subscriber numbers were 55,999. I was 1 away from 56,000. And I just thought that was kind of cool. But the funny thing is, often when I do live streams, I lose subscribers. Isn't it interesting? You'd think I'd get the hint, wouldn't you? And people subscribe when they see my pre-recorded stuff, and then they see me do something live, and they go, God, this guy's a dick. That one was a bit stinky. Just as I melted the solder on that one, it sort of smelt that little bit fishy. So, fishy, fishy, fish, a fish. A fish, a fish, a fishy fish. And it went wherever I did go. Anyone know the reference? Anyone? Anyone? Pop culture reference? Anyone? Right, I'm just going to do a quick check to make sure they've got all the polarities right. Looking good. Looking good, looking good. Looking good. Good, good. Good, good. Good. And good. Jibitronics, hello there. Any tips on cleaning out corrosion on the plastic plugs that connect to the logic boards on these LC power supplies? Plastic, you talk about inside here? No tips. What I can tell you though is that you can remove these plugs relatively easily. So they've got a little pushy thing here, and you can kind of push down on that, and then you can slide them out. And that can then potentially give you a better chance of cleaning them. This one's not coming out. But yeah, you can remove these. If you get hold of these, I don't know if anyone's seen these things here. These are specifically designed for getting these things out. And you just shove them down in the place in the thing there, and the thing, and you can then, you find the right one, of course, and then you can often slide them out. Just slide them up here. I've got to be careful though, I'll cut myself. And then yeah, once you can get the plug out, you have got a better chance probably of cleaning it or even replacing it, because you've got to remember these sorts of plugs, they're just off the shelf. These are Apple proprietary things. The plastic might be hard to replace, but the little pins inside, if you can find yourself another one of these connectors, you can probably redo the pins. You just need one of those crimpery things, Molex crimpery tools. So, but yeah, my suggestion would be, if you're going to clean them, the first thing to do is get them out. Shove all the things equals work. Exactly. Sorry. Bloody humming Simon and Garfunkel. Sorry about that, folks. Well, I think we're pretty much good to go with this one. Be time to put him back together and give him a bit of a test. Can turn off the Fume extractor for that. Ooh, now we have the sound of silence. Ooh, we've got pigeons. So we've got little labels here for live and neutral, which one goes where. They've even told us which colour. But for anyone who's ever, trying to remember the colour scheme with these, a lot of people talk about the live is brown because it makes you poo your pants. But I always think of it as blue is neutral, and blue is cool, calm, neutral. Blue's a cool colour. Blue is a neutral colour. So then you know that the other one is live. That's the way I remember. There we go. Bloody perfect. As it turns out, I did need my Fume extractor still. Thought that there were Fume extractor. Bought that Fume and really like it. How did you add a remote switch? Yeah, you're the first person to ask, and I suspect you won't be the last. So what I did, this is it here. That's the switch there. Now the switch itself I just bought from my local electronics retailer, JCar. It's a single throw, single something, I don't know, single press makes it on, it doesn't stay on sort of thing. And I designed this little holder for it, which I'm quite happy to share the design. It's just a matter of you would then have to find the same switch. The switch, if I put the description of it up there, you probably and I can put a link to the JCar one that I bought. You can probably find ones that look the same to buy them from different places. Because just explaining to people, JCar is an electronics company here. Sell components and sell all sorts of stuff, car fridges, security systems, the whole caboodle. Now, there is a JCar very, very close to me, as in like I regularly walk there. It's about a probably 25-minute walk for me to get there. And so if I'm after a bit of sun and exercise, I'll generally go there if I need to buy something. But by car, it's very, very close. And so I do buy a lot of these things from there because I can just get them at the moment. I don't have to, I can probably get them cheaper somewhere else, but I can just walk in there and grab them if I need fuses or resistors or whatever the case may be. So, what have we got? Single pole, single throw. Yes, I knew Nick would know because he works at Ultrasonic, which is the kind of competitor to JCar, I guess. I like Ultrasonics as well, but I don't have one as close as I have a JCar. And anywho, so the switch, if you can get hold of the switch, it will then, of course, fit into the little holder. Now, what I've got, the wire comes out the bottom here, which you can't really see. That's the wire coming out the bottom. And then I have used a series of cable ties to just cable tie the wire along the outside of the hose. It might have seemed logical to put it inside the hose. My general feeling is after some time, the wire's going to end up getting all sorts of dust and gunk and shit on it. So I thought it'd be better to have it running on the outside. So I've got it running the outside. Then I have it going down, and then I have it going up underneath the little hole in the bottom for the air to come out. It goes up in that hole there, and then I've just soldered 2 wires to the back of the controller board where the main switch is. So where the main switch is, you press that, and it makes contact, makes it switch on, and so I just piggyback them on the back of that switch to the 2 wires. So when I press that button, it goes. So I just took the board off, brought it down here, soldered them on very carefully, used a cable tie. I had to drill a hole in the board, but I drilled a hole in an area where there was no circuits or anything like that. I drilled a hole for me to stick a cable tie through so I could tie it and make sure that if that wire gets yanked, it's not going to pull off the board. So to hold it in position there, keep it safe. And that's basically how I did it. I can probably take some photos of that, but that would involve me going under the desk. That's not a lot of fun. Ultrasonic sell much better components. JCar sell more and more car fridges and RC helicopters. Yeah, I think the 3D printing is also a big thing with them now. When I go in there, I see 3D printers heavily featured. So I definitely, and they've got a lot more filament and stuff there now, and they're selling all of the Creality products. Creality K1 in there, sort of when I was there last time. So I definitely feel that they are definitely doing the 3D printy type stuff. But as I say, the whole thing with JCar is the convenience for me. They are just so close. And they have really got me out of pickles at times. There have been times when I've been like, oh, I'm so close to being able to finish this thing. And then it's like, trip to JCar and they have what I want. Very handy. Now, we've got this plastic thing here on the bottom, and that is designed to hook around this capacitor there. So you just got to get the position right for that. It's it's not difficult. It should go in relatively easily. That has to go into there. And there we go. Look at that. How good's that? It's nice. All right, now I've got to stick some goo on this as well, a bit of thermal paste, because this metal bar here is a heat sink, and then it transfers heat onto the outside case. So just for efficiency, I'm going to get some goo and put it on there. I should also mention, while I've got everyone listening, this stuff here, B7000, always good to have this in the toolkit. All right, it goes a bit funky after a while. It's good to actually hermetically seal these little tubes because the air gets in and then it stuffs up the glue. I might actually do that with these because I buy them in small tubes rather than one big one. It just lasts better that way. Multi-purpose adhesive. I use this for reattaching screens for iMacs. So if you've got, say, an iMac 21.5 inch, the ones from, 2012 onwards, something like that, where the screen is actually glued on. Now you can buy adhesive kits for those. They're adhesive strips that you put on and you stick it on there. But the downside of the adhesive strip is that if you get the position wrong, you're locked into that position. If you don't get the screen quite lined up when you stick it to the adhesive, you're stuck with that. You have to remove it all and do it again. With this, it doesn't dry immediately, so you've got a little bit of wiggle room. So you can put all of the adhesive on, you put the screen on, you get it all lined up, and then you clamp it. You just put a few clamps on there or even some tape or something like that. Leave it for 24 hours, and then that is stuck on, proper stuck on. But it's easy to get undone again as well, if you need to. So with just the same method you would if you weren't using a glue. So anyhow, I just wanted to mention that, because every time I grab my plastic bag full of goo, this is where I keep all my goo, I look at that and I think, I need to tell people about that. Needs to tell people. All right, let's get a little bit of paste, thermal paste. This is awful thermal paste, or heat sink compound, this stuff. It's awful. It's horrible stuff, but it's very cheap, and I have lots of it. Craps. Plastic prevents shorting, guess how I know. Please share that 3D file on Thingiverse. Will do. The trick with those sorts of things is not necessarily sharing something on Thingiverse. It's easy to do. You just plonk it up there, a little bit of a description. But you kind of got to provide some context for what the thing is there. Why is this thing on here? Oh, well, it relates to this video, so I'll put a link to the video. And then, of course, I need to do a little write-up on the switch. You know, what sort of switch I need to be looking for. I probably need to measure the little bastard as well, so that people know what size the switch needs to be in order to fit through the hole, that sort of thing. I wish J-Car would buy the Radio Shack name and do business here under that name as they do in Australia. Yeah, I mean, we used to have like an electronics provider many years ago called Dick Smith. It was the the electronic Dick, and then that stopped. And they became more of a company that was just selling consumer electronics rather than components. And then J-Car took over. But components are not a way for a company to make money. You're talking about things with very small markup. You're talking about, you walk into the shop. If I walk out of there with, I don't know, 5 resistors or something like that, and I'm paying a couple of dollars, you think about the staff being paid for me to buy these resistors for a couple of dollars. These companies have to subsidize what they're doing with bigger ticket items, whether it be things like car fridges, or whether it be things like kids' toys, or 3D printers, that sort of stuff. So I don't have any issue with the fact that these companies, do sell other things than components. I'm not like, it's like, oh, you've sold out. You're not selling good. You're only selling all these components and stuff. Like, you're not selling just components. You're selling remote control cars and stuff. I really don't have an issue. I know that they have to do that to stay afloat. Oh, and the other stuff they do, of course, they're big on car stereos and that sort of stuff, or certainly wiring of car stereos, amplifiers, and all that sort of crap. So all the doof folks go in there and buy stuff from J-Car. And I went in there one time. It's kind of funny. I wish I'd done something different. I really do. I really should have taken the opportunity with this one. But there were a couple of young girls in there, which of course you don't normally see in J-Car, I have to say. Let's say they were probably, I'd say, late teens, maybe early 20s, something like that. And they were asking about a soldering iron. They were looking to buy a soldering iron. The person was sort of helping them there, and they were having trouble and everything. And I just thought to myself, I really should help them out. So, because they were having trouble getting solder to work and that. And I said, look, I solder sort of pretty much for a living. So if you sort of, I would recommend, okay, if you get the soldering iron, and I would recommend you get some flux. And they have a flux pen there. I said, get some flux. That will help the solder stick to whatever it is you're trying to solder. But I realised that afterwards, I really should have said, can I help? do you want me to give you a soldering demonstration? Because, I mean, I'm sure the guys there would have been happy. Could have filmed it and stuck it on my YouTube channel. They were very attractive. Yeah, I just sort of, I feel like I should have actually provided a bit of a soldering demonstration. It would have, I think, helped them out to do whatever it was they were trying to do. But anyhow, one of the things I always loved about Dick Smith is he had a wonderful sense of humour. So when he sold off the electronics business, he then went and set up another business called, was it Australian Geographic or something like that, making a magazine and that. I mean, he was really just, it was just a hobby for him, really. But he's someone who's very outspoken about certain matters, certainly in aviation and stuff like that. But he had a wonderful sense of humour, and for a while there he set up his Dick Smith brand to make competing products of things that are being made by companies owned by overseas companies. Sorry, products owned by overseas companies. So when we're buying stuff in Australia that we think is an Australian product, but it actually turns out that all the profits are going offshore because that's a company that's owned by an international company rather than an Australian one. And so he set up sort of like a competition for that. So he started doing his own products. One of the things he did was matches, boxes of matches. And the main box of match brand is Redheads, and so he did his called Dickheads, and I just always thought that was hilarious. I think this is a wonderful sense of view. Oh wow, geez, my screen just went blank there. Bad. All right, back together, all ready for testing. So let's test it, shall we? Shall we? Oopsie. Whoopsie. There we go. Focus. Focus. All right, I'm going to grab this. This is an LC2. I think I'm going to have to go even wider, aren't I? Yeah, look at that. We need to get the whole thing in. Right, let's get the fume extractor out of the way, get a little bit of room in here. Let's take that power supply I've just recapped. Now this one here, I think I have already recapped. This is the one I did before. And it's clipped in. Thankfully these LC2s, they don't have the fire retardant. Oh, there's a little critter in there. They don't have the fire retardant. Look at that. These are the ones that were stored in that shed, not particularly well. They don't have the fire retardant in the plastic, so the plastics aren't as brittle as the later models, the spindler plastics. So with these, like for instance, if this was an LC475, just the process of putting this in would probably break these tabs off. Whereas this one here, you can bend these tabs with impunity and not worry about them breaking. So there's a power supply. Let's get ourselves a little BlueSCSI over here. This is good, thank you. And I think, do I need a battery in this one to get video? I'll stick a battery in anyway, just in case. Excuse me. Just going to jump over here very quickly and check. This tells me there are 41 people watching, so hello to you all. Thank you very much for joining. If you haven't said hello in the chat, please feel free to do so. A couple of things about this. This is an LC2, even though it might look like an LC3. And why would it look like an LC3? Because it has a socket here for an FPU. That's one of the things that I always do with every single LC2 I come across. I add this socket because Apple did actually make the solder holes. They made the little holes for attaching this socket, but then they didn't put a socket on there because they were being cheap. They didn't want people to be able to turn this into a faster computer than it was. So I have soldered that on, and so that gives us the ability to put a floating point unit in there. You may also notice there are holes here. You can't see them. Holes there for a second floppy drive. If you want to attach a second floppy drive, you can. All right, speakers in, speaker fan, they're all connected, so let's switch them on and see what happens. Oh, I'll give it power first. How about that? I think I'm going to just transmit electricity into the power supply via osmosis. Okay. Okay. Always take a risk with these that it might blow up. So ready, steady, and dead. Nout. So there's something else wrong with this power supply. It's a shame, actually, because this one was really clean. 0.5, hello there. MacMan142, hello there. Yeah, it's dead. It's good. I mean, let's just check and make sure there's power coming out of this first. I'm going to grab my multimeter here. I'm going to stick it onto NCV. Okay. Yeah, it's finding electricity in that. Let's check some power. Oh man, someone's cooking onions. Onions and butter, I can smell it. I live somewhere where there are quite a lot of 1.8 volts. 0.95 volts. Minus 3 volts. It's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. I'm assuming this logic board works. We better test that. I've got to stick a working power supply. I assume this is a working power supply here. It is possible that I haven't actually restored this one yet. Stranger things have happened. Oh no, I've done all the recapping. Okay, so that power supply works. The DES power supply doesn't. If I remember rightly, these power supplies need a load on them in order to output voltage. I think. .94, 0.95, and this will be the minus 12 volt rail, minus 3. So we are getting some power, but definitely not enough. Is this board shorted somewhere? Could be. We can always check that, can't we? Oh, your board, sorry, well, this one not, but this one maybe. So I put it all together. Oh, it's warm. It's real warm up this end. It's nice actually. It's cold out here at the moment. Nice. Not work so you can figure out how I can fix mine. Well, I have to admit, I am not the best at power supplies. I'm getting better. I'm learning more about power supplies as I go. Now, one thing I can tell you with something like this is it didn't blow a fuse. A lot of the time when you have a power supply that's all stuffed, you'll blow a fuse. And this didn't blow a fuse, so that's good. But it's definitely getting warm. And for the amount of time that was switched on, pretty surprised it's getting warm. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I did? I did a thing. Check this out. This is my thermal camera, which of course I use all the time. It's really important, but as you can see, it's quite small. So what I did, so that I don't lose it, I put an air tag in the container. This is why I never put anything back together until I know it works. Well, see, you know, sometimes you just have to be confident, you know. You got to have confidence in your work. The truth of the matter is that most of the time when I recap these, they do work. And sure, sometimes they don't, but most of the time they do. So I can usually say with a fair degree of certainty, oh yeah, this will be fine. We'll put it back together. But not today. I'm going to be careful here because this capacitor could all be charged up. So the heat was coming from this side. That's the secondary. So that's the primary there, and that's the secondary there. So, yeah. Shall we see if we can get a spark out of this great big cap? You ready? I hate doing this. It always scares the crap out of me. I really hate doing it. Phew. No sparkles. All good. Sometimes they pop and they make a humongous pop and it scares me. Scares me. Don't like it. Yeah, I have done some testing, power supply testing with all the stuff exposed, and of course you need to be ultra careful, because, you know, 230 volts AC is going to make your day significantly worse than it was prior to it. I don't have a car today, so if I want to go out somewhere, I've got to walk or Uber. But good thing is I don't actually need to go anywhere, so fine. Got food in the house, got a nice fresh loaf of bread. Probably make myself a sandwich for lunch. What? I just opened up the wrong one. I just opened up the wrong one. This is the one that I haven't recapped yet. So I just want to make mention of that. Can someone go back and find out where I picked this one up? I'm going to solder that back together again because this one needs to be done as well. So we'll just put him in a bag. Was I even testing the right one? I'm so confused. So confused. How come no one speaks English anymore? All right. Okay, putting that one away. That one is cold. That one is cold. This is the one that this is the one that I just recapped. Were we even testing it? It doesn't feel warm. So I'm not even sure I was testing the right one. Because I'm some sort of idiot. Or was it this one? Now the one that was all water damaged underneath. So, okay, that's the one that worked. That's good. So this one doesn't even feel warm. I'm not even sure I tested the right one. Fucking hell, Rain, you're an idiot. I don't think this power supply is from an LC2. That cable is sort of going more the other way, so it's probably more likely from a 475 where they plug in here. Because they sort of get bent into the shape they're going to be. Okay, let's try this one. Ready, steady, stinky. What a surprise, the one I recapped works. Idiot. Bloody idiot. Oh, look at that. Got a little blue light. Love the blue light. I have to say, without a doubt, building one of these from scratch is so incredibly rewarding when you then put it in a computer and start using it. Love it. I've made 4 of them so far. Definitely due to make another one. It's a good fun thing to do. Pass the time. Like on the cooking shows where they take the one out they made before. I always wonder what they do with the one they didn't make. Does it just go in the bin? Or do they then cook it and come back and the crew eat it later on? If they're shooting the show and they go, yeah, we're going to pop this in the oven now for 3 hours. Do they really come back and get it in 3 hours? And here's one I preferred earlier. Do they really come back and get it in 3 hours' time? Or are they just going to take it out of the oven and put it in the bin? No one's eating that. All right, well, I would like to actually fire this up with the screen and everything to see that it's all doing what we want it to be doing. Not getting warm here, by the way. So this is actually running. It's actually outputting power. And there's no warmth coming from there. So we know that one just needs recapping. That's all it needs. But I'm very happy to get that one done because it's another step towards getting these restored. So when I am doing one of these for restoration, the first thing I'm going to do is recap the logic board and clean it. So it'll get chucked into the ultrasonic cleaner to get as much of the gunk off as I can. I will then replace the gear. If it's one of the floppy drives that it's the auto inject one, I will replace the eject gear, give it a good old clean the heads, do all that sort of stuff for the floppy drive. And I will recap the power supply, and then typically I will then replace the internal hard drive with a BlueSCSI. And I usually, when I do that, I put a few little games and junk on there, a bit of abandonware. You reckon the crew eats the food? Yeah, you're probably right. They sit there and wait, and the crew eats it. It would seem the waste if they wouldn't. Sun's shining in on my face at the moment. That's why I look a little bit weird. No, you can't tell me how to fix mine. No, sorry about that. Have you tried zapping the PRAM, Steve? That's a little joke we have in the Mac world. What is it? Zap the PRAM, rebuild the desktop. Did you try rebuilding the desktop? Okay, so, well, I will talk about a couple of things power supply related because they may be of assistance. I'm just going to switch this off. I'll go up and get a screen in a little while, and I will get the little Blinky RAM because I definitely want to try out the Blinky RAM that I got from Will. Yeah, excuse me. Now, Steve, you here? You still here, Steve? Steve here? Okay, I want to show you this. I showed this at the very beginning of the stream, but you weren't here. This is still the prototype with a lot of problems and everything. But, oh God, look how bright that is. I don't know about that. Let's try the front view instead. Sorry about that. So this is the sun. Hello, sun. This is my little prototype. God, you can't see it because it's so friggin' white. This is my little prototype that I'm working on at the moment. This that I'm calling the Power Mac 4750 because it has a 475 board inside it with a PowerPC 601 accelerator. Got the little slot in the front here with the SD card, which is a little bit out of alignment, but that's there for the BlueSCSI. It's done in the style of the, you can't see it for shit because of this sun, so I'm just going to try the top view. So it's done in the style of, a Quadra 700. We've got all of the power supply's bouncing around at the moment. It's not being held in properly. But we've got all the connectors and that there. The board, that's a little bit out. I need to fix that up. And I broke one of the little things off, which is clever. And so, yeah, I'm doing a video on it. It'll be coming out fairly soon. This is taped on at the moment because I didn't want to glue it yet. But I just thought I would show that. It was a lot better when I showed it at the beginning of the stream because I didn't have the sun pouring into my face, and so it wasn't impossible to see the thing. Brand new case and the tabs still break off. Yeah, well, as it turns out, the tabs on this design are pretty pointless. It holds on really without the need of the tabs. It's a really snug fit on the top. And so I went to go lift it off like that when I really should have just lifted it from the middle. But yeah. Did you print the Apple logos? Well, no, that is actually, I got 3 Apple logos sent to me by David Peake. He sent them as a little donation to the channel. I was doing a live stream and I was working on these barn find Macs and their Apple logos were all manky and faded. And I accidentally stepped on a speaker as well. And then the next thing you know, I get a delivery in the mail and in it was a little plastic bag with 3 little Apple logos. Don't know where they came from, but they look brand new to me. 3 little Apple logos and a speaker. Well, was that really nice of him, David? Thank you, David. David's been a sort of a long-time supporter of the channel. I've bought computers from him before. I've recapped computers for him before. And he lives on the other side of the island. He's over in Perth. So, thank you, Rudy. So anyhow, I'm going to be doing a video on the build of that, the design and the build, and making it and all that sort of stuff. And then I'll be doing a bit more, because I don't know if anyone saw that one of those PowerPC upgrade boards that's inside this. This sun's really starting to piss me off now. Let's just get this power supply out of the way. So you've got here, the fan's still floating around. So the fan's going to mount on the top. I'll have to extend the wire, but something went wrong with the printing of this, and it did a layer shift. So these holes aren't holes. And then there's not enough support for the power supply at the moment, so I've got to improve that. I've got it so that there's stuff pushing it from the back, and then there's more support here. I've got to do something better. It just comes out way too easily. And then the speaker me mounted at the front here, but this here is an upgrade to give this the 6804 chip there, and then this is the 601 that takes this up to a 50 megahertz 6801 power PC. And one of these upgrade cards sold on eBay the other day for over $700 US. I bought this one for 30, but it was broken, but I fixed it. All right, pop that in there, and yeah, so I've got these little clips holding this in, but they're not really strong enough. When the computer, they just come out way too easily. So I need to make them so that they're strong enough to hold it in place, but not so strong that I can't get them undone. I think they need to be closer together for starters. Yeah, I'll shift that in one side in there. Yeah, I'll do that. You watch me. I move the whole power supply down about 1.5 mil. Yeah. All right. So anyhow, I'll put this away now. I've finished playing around with this. I'm going to print the whole thing in a titanium coloured filament, so it'll look like one of the original titanium Macs, or even like the Apple IIc that came out in a sort of a titanium colour as well. Yeah, that is expensive. $700. I mean, these accelerators just seem to go for silly money on eBay these days. I mean, it's more than you would pay for a power PC. It's just, I don't understand. Okay, I need to go up and get some things from the house, so I'm going to do the little back soon thing. Please don't go away. I won't be long. I'm just going to grab my screen. I'm going to grab my little cable, and I'm going to grab the little Blinky RAM. I want to have a look at the Blinky RAM. So, stick with me. I shall be back in just a minute. Hello. Bitchamite sandwich. What's a bitchamite sandwich? Hello there, Rudy. $700 more than I paid to buy my freaking van. Doesn't say much about your van, though. You won't get much of a van for $700 here. Okay. Just catching up on the stuff here. My feet are cold. Cold feet. Okay, so I've got the first thing I'm going to have a look at is these. These are the Blinky RAMs. Blinky RAMs. And so these are supplied by Will from K-Make Vintage. I believe you can buy them from his website. Now, essentially the premise is this. These are the same as plenty of the other RAM things you've seen. You've probably seen me build some on the channel. These are the ones that I made, the DIY kit from the Satanic Mac Club. You can see that there's nothing particularly new about that. These chips, I believe, are readily available. I've certainly got tons of them. And you can make these new 4 megabyte sims. Now, what's good about these ones here is on the back, I think it's like an AT Tiny or something like that. ATI Tiny, whatever they are. It's a little chip on the back there. And what that does, it's actually making these little lights blink off and on for reading and writing to the RAM, which is just kind of cute, you know. I mean, I like it's novelty stuff, but it's just kind of fun. So I'm going to pop a couple of these into my LC2 here, and we're going to see these little lights go blinkety blinky blink. Hopefully, because we like lights, don't we? Yes, shiny. I like shiny things. There's my cable, and I bought a whole bunch of these the other day. They came in. I've got to stick them in my little, stick them in one of my little containers. There are a whole stack of, what do they call them? They call them, I think they call them tuning fork. I think they call them tuning fork oscillators. And these are the ones that you use for real-time clocks. They're 32.768 kilohertz or something like that. I can't remember the exact one. Someone will probably remember better than I can. But I end up needing a lot of these because every time I work on a battery-bombed board, most of the time the battery is right next to the real-time clock, which is right next to the crystal oscillator. So when you get a battery-bombed board, that crystal oscillator is gone. So AT Tiny 25, there you go. ATI Tiny. AT Tiny, there you go. 43 degrees. See, that's toasty. Who's getting that? Who's getting the 43 degrees? That's hot. That's really uncomfortably hot. I don't mind the heat, but I mean that's heat where that's a bit dangerous to be out in that sort of heat. You really should be indoors with air conditioning when you got that sort of heat. Like poor bloody Michael Mosley. I don't know if you guys know who Michael Mosley is. Poor guy died recently of heat exhaustion on a Greek island. I want to put these crystals into their home so that they don't get forgotten and lost in junk. Where do you reckon I put them? Where do you reckon, which one of these things did I put it in? I have all these containers. What are they? Crap. I don't know. Because I'm sure I still have at least one left, so I can. So there's already a spot for these oscillators in one of these containers. I've just got to find out which container it is. Not that one. Stuff it, I will do it later. Oh, jeez, I'm cold. I'm cold. Yeah, as you can see from here, 15 degrees C, it says 16 here on my watch. And the concrete is just cold, so my feet are on it and they're cold. So let's get a little Mac 2 here. I mean, LC2, Mac 2, not a Mac 2. That's much older. And we'll whip out these Ramses. Ramses. I don't know what these are. They 4s, they 1s. They've got to be 4s. There's 70 nanosecond. If they're 1s, I don't think you'd be like 80 or slower. If they're 70, I think they'd have to be 4s. That would be my guess. Just move this out of the way. That was the one good thing about these when I bought these barn find Macs, was they all had RAM in them. And vRAM. Nice little bonus when you get that. You don't always get that. Nah. Now, need a keyboard and a mouse, which I've got here. Oh, shiz sticks. That's not good. There we go. First 5 tech steps to be available soon. That's awesome. Okie dokie. I wonder if can you reprogram the tech steps so that when you plug it into a computer and it comes up and says recap it. Oh, it's good to make myself laugh. Righty. Now I've got a screw. And we've got a mouse here. If I can just get the mouse up onto the table. Or at least onto my leg. And then we'll plug in the power. And then we'll fire it up. Put you on the fan. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, look at that. Look at that. How cool is that? And it hasn't even... let me just check this. I'll probably need to change the source for this. Source. What kind of sauce? Okay, did some things. Now it's stopped doing some things. Oh, I didn't put the vRAM in. I left the vRAM unplugged. What a jerk. Let's try that again. Second go. They move awful fast, don't they? It's kind of cool. Yeah, there we go. Heard it make a pop. There we go. It's just a grey screen at the moment. It's doing stuff, though. I don't know why I don't have video. I bet you I've got the wrong bloody settings on this little Duvalaki here. Let's see if we can't fix that up. What do I want this in? I want this in that mode there. So that's 1 and 2 on and the rest off. 1, 2 on, rest off. We might have to restart it sometimes when you do this. You've got to restart to get the video to work properly. Because at the moment, as you can see, I've got nothing coming up the screen. It's just grey. It's just grey. But the computer is clearly doing its thing. Blinkety blink blink. It's doing a lot of blinking. I'm going to switch it off and on again, see if we can get this bloody video to work. Work for me, you're stupid. Because it's doing all the right stuff. I'm just not getting any video output. I don't know why. That's interesting. Shad Mac chime. Okay, well, first thing I need to do here is, because I haven't had this connected to a screen, first thing I need to do is take this RAM out and put my other RAM in to at least see whether it's going to fire up like that. Because I can't remember how well tested this computer is. Click, click, click. Click go the shears. Ah. What are you doing to me, computer? Everything was fine. Okay, got the pop. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting video. Sort of. I think this vRAM might be rogered. Because look at this crap. All those artifacts and crap. I am going to get the I'm going to get the vRAM out, and I'm going to give it all a good clean in a minute. Stupid. But I'd say, I mean, there's a bit of grit on this. I can't remember if I've cleaned this. I mean, I may have cleaned it. But it definitely needs to be cleaned again. It's probably because it's been sitting out here in the workshop. Sitting out here in the workshop. Okay, let's switch that off. Let's take the vRAM out. Let's give that a bit of a clean. Rudy's off. Bye, Rudy. Almost midnight. Time to go. God, I'll tell you what. It's lunchtime here. 1:50. Wow. Yeah, it's definitely time for me to eat. Anything is possible with all these barn find Macs. You know, they weren't in the best condition. They're not stored properly. By that chap, I can't remember his name. My apologies to you if you are watching. I can't remember what your name is. All right, let's give this another go. Happy Father's Day to all dads tomorrow in the US. Ah, it's Father's Day tomorrow in the US, is it? How about that? Not sure when Father's Day is here. Father's Day. Father's Day. Day. Australia. 1st of September. Beep, 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 beep. Happy Father's Day to all the dads in the US tomorrow. Right, I'm going to try this again. I was just waiting for the alcohol to dry up. Grey. Ah, there we go. Look at that. Squeaky clean now. Got a little cursory thing there. We've got a happy Mac. Look. Look at it. Just look at it. So then we're going to go back and try the Blinkies again. this. I did say I was going to have a look at a power supply for Steve, didn't I? I was going to see if I could give him a few tips on the power supply. What's Steve? If you're still there, what are the symptoms of this power supply? Is it getting any power at all? Okay. Right. Let's have a looky here. Wolfenstein. I tell you what, you wouldn't want to play that on this. It would be you'd have the game about the size of a postage stamp. Okay, so these are. Can anyone tell me how much? There's 4 on board with this, isn't there? Has anyone got that readily available? 4 megs on board. So these are 2 ones. So it's taking me up to 6. So we should be able to take that up to 10. I know it's technically 12 when we put 2 4s in there, but it'll only address 10. Wrong mouse. Let's get the colours on the monitor. Monitors. Colors. 256. There we go. Gets power, smells like burning. Crikey. By gum. It's not supposed to smell like burning. That's a bad thing. Ow! I didn't wait till the fan stopped spinning. I just whacked the end of my fingernail. Quite unpleasant. Quite unpleasant. Okay, Blinky RAM. Which I don't care whether it's a necessity or not. I just think it's pretty cool. You could definitely make an argument for Blinky RAM to see whether, you know, if your computer's not booting, are you getting any blinks at the beginning? Because if you're getting no blinks at the beginning, the chances are you got a problem, like with your ROMs or something like that. So you could actually use these as diagnostics tool. Let's try again. There we go, made the noise, got the screen. We're cooking with gas. It's very cute, isn't it? Little police lights. I might change the blue into green, if that's all right with you. I like green. Right, let's have a look at about this Macintosh. There we go, 10 megabytes. You can't see it, but it's there. 10 megabytes. 10, 2, 4, 0. So that's giving us our 2 4s there. And as you can see, I mean, at the moment, we're ultimately doing nothing. We're just sitting here. But look at the blinkage. It's blinking constantly. So it's just reading and writing to the RAM all the bloody time. Monitors. Colors. 256. Dun, 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 dun. We'll fire at Wolfenstein and just see how it plays. It'll play like crap, but... System 7.1. Yes, we are System 7.1. Dun, 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 dun. LC2 RAM limit. Shakes fist in the air. Oh, I hear you, Jack. I hear you. I notice you have a 68030. You're an idiot for trying to play this game is basically what that's saying. Red is right. Yep. So I want to change the blue into green for read. Green and purple. Has there ever been a Wolfenstein movie made? I know there's a Doom movie. I wonder if anyone's ever made a Wolfenstein movie. I can't be bothered lifting up this keyboard, so I'm not sure I'm actually going to bother playing it. It's slow. Escape from Wolfenstein. Can I play Daddy? Get persicked. I'm psyched. I'm as psyched as I'm going to get, okay? Jeez. Anytime now. I'm so psyched. There we go. Oh, wow. Look at the speed that it's going. Not good. No, not good. Alright. Well, that answers that question. It's funny you say that, Dana. I just never really noticed the way that they've actually said, can I play Daddy? It should be, can I play, comma, Daddy? Can I play Daddy? But there's no comma there. It just says, can I play Daddy? So it's like someone is saying, hey, you be Mummy and I be Daddy, all right? I'm going to play Daddy. Is that cool? Yeah. It's, you know. But you can't really expect too much from a computer game, can you? All right, I'm going to shut that down. That's a fun little thing. Those little Blinky RAM sims. Feel free to stick a link into where people can buy those if you want. Well, you are welcome to do that if you would like to. And we have successfully recapped an LC2 power supply. So that is another one. I can put that in the good pile. Sure, I might write recapped. Recapped. Jeez, that's terrible. I'm glad I can read my own writing because no one else can. Boo, boo, boo. Probably just a big R would work, wouldn't it? With a circle. Registered trademark. Okay, that goes over there in my LC power supply pile. And then I'll put this one back in, which is the one that has also been recapped. I think it has anyway. Yeah, it's got all my gunky thermal paste on it. Right. Oh, I'll take those out. Don't want them in there. Don't want to accidentally sell this computer with those in there. I'll stick the ones back in. There we go. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Right. Now, I do want to have a quick look at this power supply here, this one that I haven't recapped yet. I just wanted to have a quick sneak peek at it to find out, because as I mentioned before, when I plugged it in, it was getting warm. I want to sort of just see if I can identify what might have been getting warm. Okay, so this is the whole end here with all the caps that need redoing. So that was what was getting warm. It was up here. We've got these little guys here. So what I can tell you, Steve, when you've got a power supply that's not working, there are a few things you want to be checking out. One is the bridge rectifier, which... Is that it there? Yeah, I'll need a microscope for this. Nope. A bridge rectifier can either look like a single component, or it might be a series of 4 diodes. Now, I feel like it must be that, but I can't really see it very well. Yeah. And you're looking for shorts of those. But I tell you what, the other thing that I do... Oh, audio is gone. Thank you. Thank you. What? Audio is gone. But it still seems to be fine. Audio is gone. Your audio isn't gone. Steve, it's you. Steve just sent me a message saying audio is gone. But it's not. Don't look too crash up. This one's pretty dirty, this one, so I'd say that with the recapping and the clean, this will probably work a lot better. But you've got, with a lot of power supplies, you have these little guys around the side here, little transistors and stuff like that. They're the first place that I look. Check for shorts on those. So you just get your multimeter, you put it into continuity mode. You can put it in diode mode if you want, but you can put it in continuity mode. And you just check between these pins. Generally when these fail, they fail short. So if you start getting, beeps on these little transistors, then you know they're stuffed and you need to replace them. So that's just something that's one thing that I would generally say with any sort of power supply, look out for that. Because they do fail all of those things. So. Audio is echoing, yeah, because I switched. That's Steve's fault. It's all Steve's fault. Because he told me the audio is gone. It was not gone. It just got quiet for a moment. Oh. Yeah. That's my backup audio. So I switched on my backup audio, and then I didn't switch it off again. So yeah, that's generally with the power supply. The things that I'd be checking are a bridge rectifier. So you've got to hunt that down and find that and test that for shorts. There is a way of testing a bridge rectifier, which I can show you at any time if you want. This is a bridge rectifier here. This one is an 8 amp 800 volt bridge rectifier. So now I've been going for 2 hours. I sort of feel like that's probably enough because I'm very hungry, not just a little hungry. So I'm probably going to get something to eat. I didn't get much done today. I mean, I recapped that power supply. Really would have liked to have done some more. I would have liked to have maybe worked a little bit more on my SE30 reloaded board, which was sent to me by Colin, which is very nice of him. He had an XS one, so he said, "Would you like it?" And I said, "Yes, please." Ravenous. I take full responsibility. So this is the SE30 reloaded board. As you can see, I've already done quite a bit. I did that during my my drunk live stream from last weekend. Managed to, while inebriated, put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 chips on there. And then, of course, another thing that I've been working on this battery damaged SE30. And, of course, I made the discovery the other day that I had replaced 2 chips and I'd put the wrong chips on. No harm, no foul. It's never had power connected to it, so it's not like it's causing a problem. But I was just like, Workshop and Wine, that's the one. Workshop and Wine. So the echo is gone. There's no more echo, is there? People are just saying that I'm not just getting messages about echo. But that. Need to start the 2CI reloaded. Yeah, I've got that here too. The biggest issue I have with that is that I believe... Oh, wow, look at all these fuses. I believe that I can touch the sky. Yeah, I believe I'm missing lots of components, so I don't know how far I'll be able to get through it. And that could be a little bit disappointing for all involved. So I'm just looking at these containers. These containers were hiding down there. I've got fuses. Got a MOSFET. Got a few NPNs. I've got switching diodes there. This is cool. That's a good little one to find. And this one here is Schottky diodes. I'm just looking to see if I can find my what do you call them? My oscillators, so that I could put my new oscillators with the old oscillators, but it's not in here. I just saw this container. I thought it might be in there, but it's not. So that's that. Okie dokie. Do you have a Boba Fett? I go make food now. Not good enough, Dana. I won't be here when you get back, Dana. Mr. Robot VPN, out of curiosity, have you ever fixed a Mac Pro late 2013? Mac Pro. Now, is that the trash can? The Mac 2013 Mac Pro is a trash can Mac. Is that correct? I have never even had my hands on one of those. I'd like to have one day. I'd like to find one someday. They have notorious issues with their GPUs, apparently. Toss it in another trash can, yeah. Jay's not a big fan of the trash can Mac Pro, and that's mainly because while they were trying to make it look really cool, they ended up actually designing something which has all sorts of problems. Yeah, they generally, if you have one and it hasn't had a GPU failure yet, it's coming. It will have one. But no, I honestly have I've never even used one. If one comes up super cheap, I'll probably buy it because I would like to have it in the collection because I think it's a collectible Mac because it looks so stupid. But actually, that's not fair. They do actually look cool. But yeah, if I can get one for cheap, I will buy one and I'll have it. But I've never ever repaired one. Almost bought one for $250, but decided that was still way too much. Well, for me, it's just a collectible thing. It's not for the power. I'm not going to use it as a day-to-day Mac. I've got an M1 Mini down here in the workshop. I've got an M2 Mini as my daily driver, and both of those are faster than a trash can. I mean, I can't think of anything that I would necessarily use it for. The only thing it can do besides the M2 Mini is just drive more displays. Yes, that's fair enough. I mean, my M2 Mini I've got up there is driving 3 displays. So it's driving 2, what are they? Is it 1440p, I think? 1440 is the vertical resolution, I think. And then one of the Mac 24-inch ones, which is, I think, 1920 by 1200, something like that. Love the cheese grater. Macs for sure. I have a 2012 5.1 Mac Pro cheese grater, classic Mac Pro. That one has that one's a dual hex core 3 gigahertz, and that's I think got 16 or 32 gigs of RAM. Probably 32 gigs of RAM. I think maybe even more. Can't remember. And that is basically now set up as my my security system and my Plex server, and so when we look at the Chook cam, that image is coming straight off my Mac Pro there. And hello chicken, that's a blind chicken there, walking aimlessly, going, where's my food? Let me just go back here to... can you upgrade the CPUs? Yes, you can. Are you talking about the cheese graters? Yes, you can. But there's a limit to what you can do because just the technology they work with. I think the fastest CPU you could stick in a cheese grater is a 3.4 or something like that. 3.4 gigahertz, something like that. But Jay knows all about that sort of crap. He is the master of the Mac Pro. Anyone out there who's may or may not have heard of the what's the bloody thing called? That mod? Pixelus mod. if you're doing a Google search or to find out about doing a pixeless mod to a Mac Pro, the chances are you'll end up on Jay's website. Wile E. Coyote, super genius. Yes, I love this shirt. Absolutely love this shirt. Okay. All right. Well, I think I'm going to wrap up now. I'm going to go get myself some yummy food. What am I making for dinner tonight? Oh, that's right. I'm having leftovers. Going to do bolognese. Bolognese. Some form of pasta. So, thank you to everyone for joining me. Sorry I didn't actually do much this time. I only recapped one power supply, but it worked. And, of course, we went through all of that fun and games of me actually testing it, but I tested one that I hadn't recapped and it didn't work, which was no surprise. Yeah, thank you to everyone for joining me. Thank you for keeping me company. Thanks for keeping the chat lively as usual. To anyone who is watching this, who is watching it on the replay, a big hello to you. As usual, I always invite people to leave comments in the comments section afterwards if they want to. Just even if they're just saying hi. I'm going to head up now and keep working on some of my pre-recorded videos because I've got a lot of work to do. It's been a long time since I've released one, and I've got to get some out very, very soon. I've just had these things going for too long. And I'm going to probably start 3D printing my prototype base as well, which would be interesting. Okay, so thank you everyone. I hope to see you at the next one. Have a good day, night, whatever it happens to be in your part of the world, and I hope to see you at the next one. Bye.